This week, I'm gonna ask Gordon a very key issue about the sound therapy. Why sound therapists need to set intention and how? Why and how? Before that, please subscribe our channel. Every time I say that, because I know many people only watch. You just hit the button of the YouTube channel, the red one, and select the press the button of the notification. Please select all notifications and give a thumb up, because every week we have different topic for you. So Gordon, last time we talk about the classical music. What's the difference with classical music and the so-called sound therapy music? You said that very important thing. The difference is the intention. Okay, so this week we're talking about the intention. So why intention is so essential for sound therapists?
Okay, so to start with, let's see if I can hold up the right number of fingers. You said
why and
how. Before we get onto those, how about the what?
Oh yeah, good idea.
What is it? Yeah. What is intention?
What's intention?
What is intention?
Yeah. What's intention?
Do you know what it is? What's your understanding of it? I mean, do you know what it is, viewers? I mean, what's your understanding of it?
Can I say that intention is kind of praying?
I think so. Actually, in fact, intention is one of those words that what we're talking about sounds a bit abstract. If we put it into everyday life, it's kind of focused wishing. It's kind of an important kind of way of wishing, focusing on what it is that we want to achieve. So prayer is the interesting thing about prayer and why it's relevant to intention is that it's invoking a higher force.
Yeah.
I would suggest it's invoking a spiritual energy into the intention, if you like. So all these things wishing, praying,
intention,
all this kind of focused thinking about what it is that we want to achieve by this practice, by this thing that we're going to do.
What?
This is what it is.
Why?
So why is intention important?
Especially for the sound therapist.
Yeah. So it kind of answers itself. Now we've said what it is, it sort of stands to reason that when we're making this sound with a gong, with a singing bowl, we're offering this sound up to some people in a therapeutic context. It's kind of stands to reason that if we are focused on a particular outcome, that is making these people feel as though we can create a therapeutic environment in which healing can take place. That would be a very broad intention. Or it could be, if it's a one-to-one, somebody's got a heart condition, so we're focusing on their heart. They're suffering from stress. So, we focus our intention on that, and the outcome that we wish or we pray for is that they don't have a heart condition anymore, they don't feel stressed anymore.
So I got a question for you. Is the intention is broader, the better, or the most specific? For instance, I can play the gong for the world peace, for the love of the human beings.
That's a brilliant question, because I think both are important, and I think they're both important simultaneously, so that even if you're really engaged in and concentrating on a one-to-one therapeutic situation with your sound instruments, that it's really important for you not to be too insular and to kind of feel as though you can project it out to the universe, not just the rest of the world. This has massive benefits in my view, So having having multiple intentions is also good. Focused on the here and now of a specific therapeutic healing practice, but also wide and broad.
So I can make a list. world peace, human love, and love the nature, love the earth, and blah 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 blah.
There's nothing wrong with those very broad ones, but the only caution I would have is if you make them too broad, they can become so non-specific. They kind of can lose some of their power. So you can give it a universal context and make it specific. How can I use an example of that? It's just something that chimes with, in other words, let's say, for example, that you're treating somebody who you're in a one-to-one with somebody who's suffering from stress. What you could do is you could make it universal and say, well, this is a practice which is great for this person here and now, but how about projecting it out to all the people in the world that are suffering from stress? Because if the impact that I'm having here and now, we have the ability through intention to be able to project it out to everybody, and that would be an example.
Yeah, so normally during the Gong Bass, because many people sometimes got dozens people, so you normally will have a wider intention or?
Oh, right, okay, yes, in a group. So a Gong bath in a group. Now, there's several ways you can go about this. Number one is that you, as the gong player, as the kind of facilitator of the proceedings, can say, right, it's full moon in so-and-so today, or it's the vernal equinox, or whatever, or there's some kind of,
special day.
And we're going to, I as the facilitator are going to set an intention around this, and it's going to be this. And in fact, I could put it on my promotional stuff. This is in celebration of so-and-so, and the intention is this. So everybody knows before they come. That's one way you can do it. Yeah. Another way is that you can invite from the group to create a group intention, which particularly if people know each other and they're a group and they know, they're a self-identified group, then they can more easily perhaps and quickly decide, oh great, well we want to do this, or we're achieving this, and they can form a group intention. The third one that you can do, 1, 2, 3, the third option is to just invite people to set their own intentions privately before you start the gongs, and explain why the gongs. That's the other question. The other thing that I think is really important here is I always explain to people the way that the gongs can reflect and empower the intention and amplify the intentions. This is, I think, quite a mysterious thing.
Can you give us the example here? How people set intention and how they can succeed it?
Okay, one lovely example that I was really struck by this. This was fairly early on in my gong playing career, when I was starting to do gong bars regularly in London. And one of the people who used to come often to these gong bars, which I used to hold quite often, I think once every couple of weeks in the same place, this guy came and he had his father was sick, and he was Anglo-Chinese, lived in London, a young guy. His father lived in Hong Kong and was sick, and we got to talking, and he was saying, I do find these gong bars so beneficial, because he was an experienced meditator. Also, that was the other point to make. And he was using the gong bath experience as a form of distance healing, to help heal his father, using, of course, the power of intention to do that. And I was really impressed by this, and that he found that this was working for him. I didn't go into, I was kind of really struck by this, because it was the first time I'd experienced this as a gong player early on in my career, and I found that really fascinating.
Can you tell the detail because you just jumped into the conclusion? I remember you said that his father was ill in Hong Kong, but he couldn't get back.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
He went to the gong bells in London. So every time you play the gong, he set the intention to wish his dad better.
Well, I think that it was probably more focused than that because it was his father-son relationship. So it was very powerful. First of all, it's a very powerful relationship. He was an experienced meditator. So I think he was being, he didn't go into detail about this, but I surmise that he was going into quite a focused kind of regime of distance healing. I think it was quite disciplined and that he was really, nailing it on down to whatever the ailment that ailments his father had. He was really focusing his intentions very specifically and using the gong to empower that. And over the distance made there was no problem. The distance, there was no problem because
So gong also can do the long distance healing with the intention, right?
That's right. And I mean, I'm not quite sure how much more longer we've got in this video, but I did want to bring in this wonderful formula, is the word, that Jonathan Goldman, the writer and sound healing, prominent sound healing thinker as well as practitioner, I think, gave us some years ago, which has really informed my work, I must say a lot, is this wonderful series of formulae. The first one, though, is frequency plus intent equals healing. Which I love that. And what frequency, we don't need to go into too much detail to know what frequency means. Frequency is a measure of sound. The other one is vocalization plus visualization equals manifestation.
I think the first frequency plus intent
equals healing. Another way of putting that actually is sound. Is the third one. Sound plus belief equals outcome.
Yes. Okay. Can you tell us about how, if we do one-to-one healing? Because when we practice, many students, when they do one-to-one healing, say, "Oh, my intention is health, to be healthy." But this is too broad, right? How we can help people to narrow down more specific.
You ask them what their problems are.
One-to-one.
You ask them what's the problem? What are the problems you're suffering from?
Okay, my tooth pain.
Yeah, there we are.
So that's very narrow, but the gong can do more about the teeth. So the intention only for my teeth.
Well, I mean, the thing about this is that generally, a particular blockage or issue, pain, manifests in different ways. It manifests through our mind, body and spirit. And so our intentions can also reflect that. So it's not just, if you've got a tooth pain, well, perhaps you ought to go and see the dentist too. I mean, but the dentist won't kind of interrogate you about your mental state either, or your spiritual state, which is what I think a sound therapist can do.
So the narrow down is very specific for the teeth, the tooth pain.
That's where we start,
But actually gongs can do many things. I just made example about the narrow down, otherwise very broad. So health can be anything, eyes, organs, or the stress. Okay, so this is the answer about the intention setting. Hope you like it. Please remember to subscribe our channel. We got more story to tell you. See you next time. Bye for now.